I'm assuming that most of you out there have heard about the Roswell UFO crash. If not, then listen on. It was during the evening of July the 3rd or 4th, 1947, that a huge electrical storm broke out over the desert area about 50 kilometers northeast of Roswell, New Mexico. Some witnesses claim to have saw a craft in the sky during that storm. Stories of UFOs were prolific around this time, ever since Kenneth Arnold had sighted 9 UFOs on June the 24th of 1947 at Mount Rainier in Washington State. It was Arnold who coined the phrase flying saucers. Several days later, rancher Mac Brazel was rounding up some stray animals and came across an area strewn with metallic debris. Puzzled, Brazel gathered up some of the debris and took it to the nearest town and gave it to Sheriff Wilcox. The sheriff, thinking it might be something military, called up the Roswell Army Air Force Base and told them of the find. A Major Jesse Marcel, in charge of security, was dispatched to the scene, where he met Brazel, who led him to the scene. After surveying the site for a while, Marcel filled his vehicle with some of the debris and set off back to the base. It was in the early hours of the morning when Marcel arrived back. He decided he wanted to call into his own house to show these uncanny and strange pieces of metal to his wife and son. They were pieces of metal no thicker than the silver paper in a cigarette packet. When he scrunched it up into a ball, it opened up again by itself, with no sign of any creases in the strange metal. The next day, the Army Air Force Base released a story that a flying disc had been captured. This story created a type of hysteria, and the story spread throughout the world in hours. Marcel's senior officer, a General Ramey, head of the RAAF Roswell Army Air Force Base, gave orders to rescind the story previously put out by Marcel and put out a new press release claiming that it was a weather balloon. Marcel was ordered to show the part in front of the press and was ordered to keep his mouth shut. General Ramey would tell the press the lie that has been told to this day.
They took pictures, of course. They had a whole flock of microphones there. They wanted me they wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do is keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who discussed or told the newspapers, I mean the newsmen, what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, which we both knew differently.
American Broadcasting Company and affiliated stations present Headline Edition with Taylor Grant. Today's edition presents a roundup of the latest developments in the finding of a flying disc. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazell was the man who discovered the saucer. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like. In Fort Worth, Texas, where the object was first sent, Brigadier General Roger Ramey says that it is being shipped by air to the AAF Research Center at Wright Field, Ohio. A few moments ago, I talked to officials at Wright Field, and they declared that they expect the so-called flying saucer to be delivered there, but that it hasn't arrived as yet.
Right, we're on the 285 south, just outside of Roswell, New Mexico. We might see the sign in a minute. Just coming back from the actual crash site at Roswell. Right, so we've just left the destination of Roswell, the crash site. We found the alien spacecraft and the aliens, and there was a guy thumbing on the way back, and we picked him up. Look, it's there, and maybe you can see him. I'm hoping I'm filming that all right. And we're giving him a lift to Roswell, the Roswell UFO Museum in Roswell, New Mexico. It's in Roswell, we believe. There they are, life size. Plateau Broader Nicto. That's Gort. His name's Gort. And it's about 10 foot tall. Man in black.
Do you want to go touch it?
You know what that is without me saying anything. Huge thing. So Alice has made a new friend. She found in the fields up there.
That's a video.
Made it, fellas.